Sharks of the Corn? Virus Shark? Cocaine Shark? Sharktopus? Yeah, those are all real movies. Join me, Steve Coates, as each week I take a comedic look at the bizarre world of sharksploitation cinema on Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast.
On this week's episode of UFO Trailer. 1979 in a small town outside of Dubuque, Iowa. Nettie Miller was out tending to her chickens when a sound permeated from the sky above. Aliens? Or an airplane? We'll discuss on this episode of Alien Trailers.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
It's SlashU.
It's not even April Fool's Day.
Yeah, right.
Andy, do you think I got him?
I think so. People are like, "Oh shit, I've downloaded the wrong podcast."
What? Alien Trailers? Is that like that's pretty
Alien trailers? What? What does that mean? That's not the podcast I love. I want SlashU.
I want SlashU with the ever knowing and vibrant Nick and Andy.
That's right. That's us.
That's Andy.
Here we are.
And I'm Nick, and we are SlashU. Happy New Year, Andy.
Happiest of New Years to you, friend.
This is dropping on New Year.
New Year's Day. Should old acquaintance be forgot? And that's all I know of that song.
Yeah, and
So
what? It's Anger Lang.
Auld Lang Syne.
Auld Lang Syne.
Yeah. Is it Latin? Is that Latin?
It means angling sign.
We are educated here.
We don't really care about.
We don't
Latin,
know about much
Latin New Year songs.
Yeah, we know a lot about movies.
We like movies.
Yeah.
And I've been watching a lot of fucking horror movies
Have
lately.
you?
Oh my god! I just watched this one that's like fucking Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You.
I've watched those as well.
You watched
like
both?
Groundhog Day meets.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told you about them like
I
5 episodes ago.
I forget, man. I'm
That's
always
okay.
a stupid pot.
But
it was cool.
part 2,
It got a little too quantum physicky.
yes, I didn't like part 2 because they tried to explain why she's repeating the same day over and over again. And I wanted it to be like Groundhog Day. No explanation. This just happened, and she's got to figure a way out of it.
But they broke a barrier by doing a sequel, I think, because
Yeah.
there have been many. 12 Dates of Christmas, which
Yeah.
is that stars Zach from Saved by the Bell.
Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's 12 Dates of Christmas, and Jamie Palomino from Just Friends.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. She keeps reoccurring.
Right.
12
There's
dates.
been a lot of movies that are just somebody's got to repeat the same.
Exactly, and
day.
I kind of like how they call it out in this movie. I think the beginning of Happy Birthday to You, the second one, I thought the start was rad. It took off right from where it left off.
Yeah.
And I really thought we were going to get a different story with the roommate.
Right.
But it came back to our hero, and she kind of got back in the mix again.
Yeah.
But I do like how they bring up Back to the Future and Groundhog Day. It's kind of, they make fun of it. But what I'm getting at in this story that I've been, just battling about, we watched a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And some good, some bad, but, that's kind of what we do here.
Yeah.
At SlashU.
Cheryl and I watched recently that Marky Mark one on Apple TV Plus, The Family Plan,
Rockstar.
where he plays, he's just a family man who, it turns out, he's a ex-government assassin.
Go figure.
And he got out of the business and settled down with his family. So it's
Shocker.
like True Lies, Remember Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis, where he's a spy and she doesn't know. But this is Marky Mark, who's former spy, former hitman, former, whatever, and assassin, and he's gets pulled back into the mix. We also watched The Family Switch, starring Ed Helms and oh God, what the hell's her name? The Capital One lady used to be married to Ben Affleck, Jennifer Garner.
Yes.
It's another one.
It's a good way how you got to that. I really like that.
That's another trope though, where they all switch bodies. Mom switches with daughter, dad switches with son, and all. It's the whole like, I wish you could spend a day living like me, and I wish you could spend a day.
Yeah.
And it's one of those. So there's a whole 13 going on 30 Freaky
yeah.
Friday, but it's a whole family this time. Oh, and the baby switches with the dog, so that's a funny side gag, side plot in the movie. So we watched that. It's a little Christmassy too, because it takes place, around Christmas time, and so that's another like Groundhog Day concept. That's another thing that's happened in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
People switching bodies.
We watched another one with our friend Felisa Rose from Sleepaway Camp. It's called the Ugly Sweater Christmas Party. It's about a sweater that was possessed, and it's being worn at it's really bad. I'm sorry,
Cool.
but it's.
Well, she endorses SlashU. You shouldn't trash her
but we
movies.
were watching a lot of Christmas-related slashers, and I'm spacing now. But we've got so much to talk about. I'm really excited, Andy. As you are listening to this, if you are listening to this on January 1st, and it's around the noon time Central Time, we are going to be jumping in Lake Michigan.
That's true. We're doing the polar plunge.
Which I'm excited about.
Oof, that's gonna be cold.
And another thing before we get into our movie of the year, it's going to be a final one. We're going to take a little break, as most of our true fans too, know that we usually kind of dip out in January just to kind of refocus our chi. But we're going to try something new. We're going to do a final exam watch, and we're going to do it live, and we're going to hopefully be able to pass that on to our listeners so they can watch with us.
We'll do a commentary final exam, and then you guys can download the episode, queue up the movie, and hit play at the same time and watch as if we are commenting.
Why we're hanging out in the room with you?
Hanging out in the room with you.
Yeah, I like tater tots, so make sure you have some of those with you.
Get some of those on hand. So and if I'll take the time, maybe try to put together a best of, like we did with best of season 5. This episode today also marks the end of season 7.
Wow.
Yeah. So after this,
we'll
be starting season 8.
I mean, we've almost 4 years. It doesn't. And
this is episode 133 of SlashU.
And you think we have like 8 listeners that really have focused, and so to all 8 of you, thank you.
Happiest of New Year's to you as well.
Let's just go and get into it. From 1979, 1979, 1 hour 36 minutes.
This is a classic, The Driller Killer.
The Driller Killer. We watched this after doing 2 episodes. I was like, hey Andy, why don't we just watch it? We got some time. I think our wives were out together.
Yes.
So after we got done with our 2 episodes, we sat down and watched this movie together, and
we did first watch together. Yeah,
first watch together, and it kind of confused me.
It was hard to follow.
Yes. The second time, but we were also talking, and the second time though I watched it, I focused in on it. I looked into
same
no distractions. I watched it down here in the studio.
Yep.
I got to it. This movie, with a name like The Driller Killer and the poster, seems like it would be really rad, but I hate to tell you, man, I was kind of a little disappointed.
Same.
It's 1979, but we've seen some 70 movies. I mean, fuck, come on, Halloween.
Yeah.
I mean, there's movies
the
in the
one
70s
that started it all. Yeah.
Black Christmas, 74. I mean, there are a lot of, but this one tries to be like too like Buffalo 66, even, it's ironic because there's a buffalo in this movie, but
Is it trying to be too artsy? Artsy-fartsy?
That's what I kind of wrote. This movie is like if some quote unquote I wear a Ramones t-shirt wannabe who thought they were an Instagram art influencer with 239 followers ate a bunch of Quaaludes and borrowed a Super 8 camera.
Nice.
I feel like it's like, because it is. It's like, because the first thing they say when the movie appears is play this movie loud.
Okay.
Because it's shitty music.
Yes.
It's seriously like someone said, like the director, they had a cousin that's like fucking just a shitty person. They played a shitty band, but they're owed a favor, like some family thing. They have to pay a fucking favor. Mm-hmm. So the fucking writer, director, or someone in this movie had to put their shitty cousin's band in this movie. They try to make it like the New York fucking punk scene back in the 70s.
Yes. But there's not a lot of like character development. I don't care about any of these people in this movie.
I don't care about anyone either.
I didn't care. I was just like, I wasn't sympathetic. I wasn't sad when people died. I wasn't, laughing at anyone. It was like, I didn't know who really any of the characters were, aside from what we see on the screen. You don't hear about any backstory really of anybody. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I don't. I feel like the only thing I'm going to be saying through this podcast is, and then we go back to the band. They suck. And then we go back to
then
Reno.
There's some more playing. Yeah.
This movie, if they took the music out of this movie, Andy, it would have been 24 minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, seriously, there's so much of that. But why don't we get into the fun that we have here at SlashU on this New Year's Day 2024. Let's get into Andy's Cliffkill Notes.
Nice.
Brought to you by Black Eyed Peas. If you want to listen to some shitty music or eat a food that's traditionally eaten on New Year's Day, grab some Black Eyed Peas. And now, wow, Andy, Cliffkill Notes.
Thank you. Are you all right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Black Eyed Peas. The Cliff Gill Notes, a brief summary of the movie so that you can follow along with us. Not a difficult movie to follow. Well, I mean, plot-wise. It does jump around. The scenes are kind of random and quick. But directed by Abel Ferrara. He's also the lead actor, our star in the movie Reno Miller.
King of New York.
So, Abel, nice job, buddy. Reno Miller was a starving artist living with two roommates, Pamela and Carol, who's also his girlfriend. I guess. Are they all? Is it a throuple?
It's a poly.
It's a poly?
Yeah.
Great. It's the 70s, baby.
Yes.
They're short on money all the time, it seems, unless Reno can sell his masterpiece painting of a buffalo. So he's working on that for the bulk of the movie. But our big old rock band moves into the apartment upstairs from them, and it won't stop rehearsing. It's causing Reno to fall behind on finishing his painting and to slowly descend into madness.
Yeah, I think it wakes something up inside of him.
Yeah, he ultimately ends up picking up a power drill and a portable power pack and going on a killing spree, drilling homeless men around the city.
Yeah.
And that's the gist of the movie.
Yeah, woo!
I wish I could get deeper, but I struggled with like how to make these Cliff Kill Notes.
I think you did a good job because, I mean, we're really, as we talk about this movie, we're going to develop more of this madness, you know, that
the guy goes off
that
the
is
deep end.
Reno, yeah. And I think it's internal. It's, you know, some of it's caused internally, externally, but you know, I do like how the movie opens with "Play this movie loud," because obviously, you know, the director's cousin's band was like, "Man, you better make sure I get a lot of play in this movie, or Dad's not gonna fund your trip to fucking Guam."
Somebody owed somebody a favor.
Yeah,
And said,
or I'm gonna play that Super 8 film. I've got of you jerking that guy off.
Blackmail got this band
Blackmail
in the
got
movie.
his band in here, so
We get
like,
the credits and the title right away.
Yeah, and it's kind of, it starts off kind of like Andy said, artistic movie, weird fuck.
I didn't get this at all. This whole scene.
Reno, our actor, our main hero, if you will, he's walking into a church and he approaches Willie Nelson, who is like speaking some gibberish. How'd they get Willie Nelson in this movie?
I think it was just some old guy with a long beard.
Okay.
He's mumbling to himself.
But
the guy just reaches out and grabs Reno's hand, and Reno like flips out and runs out.
So he runs into a cab. Carol's with him, his girlfriend.
Yeah. And he's like talking shit about the guy who just grabbed him.
He's like, over here.
I don't know, man.
He really got that accent that we do.
He grabbed me. Yeah, he does. He does have the same accent
He's
that
like,
you and
"Let's
I
go
always
get a
do.
pizza."
Hey, let's get out of here.
Like,
What do you know? What do
this
you know?
really sounds like him. Yeah.
And Carol's like, well, you know, who was that guy? And what's the big deal? He had your name and number on a piece of paper. I didn't see that.
I didn't get it.
Carol
There's
references
no backstory.
it. And Reno's just like, I don't know, maybe he found it in the trash or something.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is.
Let's go do art and Quaaludes.
That's it. That's the only time we see this old man. That's the only reference to this. It's just something that happens at the beginning of the movie.
In this cab, too, the driver, you know, while he's driving, the cab driver is doing voodoo rituals.
Sure, mumbling.
As he's from the outskirts of Kenya.
Sure.
And then they kind of, you know, they make out this is like, as they make out in the back of the cab, old crusty New York City punk plays.
Yep.
Like the Glamour Dolls and, you know, like shit that's kind of,
Yep.
you know, that from that era, the Ramones, Iggy Pop, like, you know, Ziggy Stardust, all that shit was kind of focused around this area. So they really kind of draw, and everyone at that time, Andy, because the music really, you didn't really have to be that good. You just had to have wore makeup. Like, it really was a time where, like, it was really spectacular to see men dressed as women and wear makeup. So you could play shitty fucking music and still probably get a record deal.
I think Reno also, he's making out with Carol in the backseat, had his hand up her shirt, which, was one of the things we prize here at SlashU. So good for him. Good for them.
Well, good for the whole
good for all of us. They arrive at some kind of, dance club.
It's a punk club,
heavy music concert going on.
All filler.
Carol goes inside, I think, to grab Pamela, their roommate, because she's inside there.
Yeah, listening.
The club.
I think I said glamour doll. I don't know how I got that mixed up. I was thinking of glam rock, but and the band playing is like Dollar General New York Dolls. So it's just kind of setting up the scene. So we get to the next day, and this is when we find out, like Andy's mentioned, as Cliff Kill notes that they live in a kind of a loft in the city of New York, and they're all crashed out. Reno lives with two girls, his girlfriend Carol, as we mentioned, and Pamela. And I feel like they do have a poly relationship where, Carol and Pamela can kiss and smooch, and I think, like, if Reno wanted to get in there and touch a boob, he would be allowed to.
I never see him really making out with Pam, just Carol.
Yeah, but
and I see Carol and Pam making out.
Yeah.
So.
But I would like to assume that it's the 70s.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of Quaaludes, and they listen to
right.
a lot of good music.
Right.
Do a lot of good drugs.
Yeah.
And hang out. So it's really, I think this scene, Andy, is as he's waking up and seeing Pamela, it's just for us to introduce the drill. She's trying to drill something.
She wants to hang a picture maybe or something. She's going to drill a hole in the door.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, I can help you over
you're
here.
Gonna kill yourself.
Yeah.
What are you doing over here?
Come over here.
Yeah, let me drill. And she does the old, like, no, I want it over here.
And,
she seems super stoned and out of it.
She's wearing baggy
I want it
panties
over
and
here.
Gross.
He's like, right over here. And then he goes to drill, and she's like, no, over there. He goes to drill. No, over in the middle. Finally, we settle on center top of the door. Great. And he drills the hole.
But
Super.
it was a great way for us to meet the drill. The drill is a character in this movie.
I agree.
So
Cinephile.
Reno, just to kind of clarify, Reno is an artist, and I think he is kind of has a name in the industry, Andy, because we get that idea that he's known.
Right.
And he's able to afford this loft. Granted, times can be hard as an artist, starving artist, yada yada.
Yep.
But
it's
he's around this painting that he's really excited about. I guess his masterpiece.
Yeah.
I don't understand the reason, because this happens twice within this movie. As he's kind of looking at his painting within their loft, she's reading horrible news from the newspaper. A lady,
Carol?
Yeah, Carol's like, a lady mistook her poodle for a roast and microwaved her poodle.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe Carol just does that. Maybe that's her thing.
Yeah, to read the news to
reads like the horrible news headlines.
Yeah, did you hear about the guy in Florida?
Did you hear about the lady who accidentally microwaved her poodle?
Oh my God, how would you do that?
It was the worst. Oh my
God.
God.
Poor poodle.
It's the worst.
They get
Some people. So
today, these kids.
Anyway,
and their TikTok.
Right.
Reno gets the rent bill. And the phone
electric
bills.
bill, the phone bill. Yeah.
You remember when you used to get charged to call long distance?
Long distance. He starts with like L.A. $7 to L.A.
$7 1979. Fucking $86.
I'm sure it would be a lot today. Yeah.
They mentioned $500 a lot in this movie. I looked it up. It's $2,000. So they paid $500 a month for rent.
Yeah.
In the city for a pretty cool loft. $2,000.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and you're not going to get that these days. It's going to be more than that for sure.
Yeah, so
these days.
You think it's so they're still getting a deal, but anyway,
well, he's cussing out the ladies because the phone bill is super high.
He's worried about bills and he's worried about money. Go ahead. Yeah.
He ends up just grabbing the phone and hurling it out the window. So we also are
a landline,
seeing that he has a temper. Yeah, it's a landline, but he just grabs it and chucks it out the fucking window.
Yeah,
all the way down to the street.
Yeah, and this is kind of when he's like, I gotta cool off over here.
Yeah.
So he takes off to the streets of New York to hang out with the decrepit of New York City. Kind of has smokes with him, and I think this is also where he likes to take a sketchbook, Andy, and kind of capture the scenery that is New York in the 1970s.
Well, it's a short kind of montage of on a lot of unhoused men.
I like that new word, unhoused.
Unhoused?
Yes.
Homeless?
I like saying hobo. Is hobo cool to say?
Well, if homeless isn't cool to say, I don't know that hobo is.
Why do you? Okay.
I'm not sure.
We're gonna put this on our Patron.
Sure.
Hobo is. It's like, there's old, Zanzibar the hobo.
Zanzibar the Hobo. It's a new character here on SlashU. Hey, everybody, I'm Zanzibar the Hobo. How you doing? Yeehaw! That's how I picture him. He has a 5-day scruff on his face, beard, and he's old Zanzibar the Hobo. Here we go.
There he is.
Yep, he's the rootinest tootinest. He's a Yosemite Sam ripoff. Zanzibar the Hobo.
Oh yeah.
New T-shirt idea.
Oh shit, dude!
New
I just
T-shirt
peed a
idea.
little. Zanzibar the Hobo.
But
that
that is what we see mostly in this movie is men.
Yeah, sorry,
Unhoused,
I gotta.
homeless. To be honest with you, man, I kind of don't understand why the term homeless is offensive to some. The people without homes, homeless. But it's just like if I didn't have a car, I would be carless. Or I don't have any money.
Uncard.
Moneyless.
Uncard.
Broke. So, if you don't have a home, you're homeless. But that's offensive, apparently.
I think it's just the way it's been. I think it's because they're trying to rebrand it because sometimes brands can get bad. Hey, hold on.
Why are we trying to fix it? Why do we got to rebrand it with fun words?
Well, Subway did it.
Try fixing the
Papa
problem.
John, they're not changing their names, but they're changing the way they look because you had a pedophile, hawking their fucking food.
Sure.
Papa John is like, an openly racist
Subway.
Kentucky fuck. So I gotta ask you a question though, because I do have a note in my notes. I have a note in my notes that says, Andy, what's with the flashback? I mean, it's kind of already showing. They have a quick flashback of the drill. Like he's getting ready to show some thoughtful love for the drill. It's like we see his demise into the pits of his torture. Where he's going, because they do some flashbacks of like
his dad, maybe.
I don't know.
I have a note here too. Weird dream flashes about his father? ? And the drill, and Reno snaps awake on the floor of his apartment.
Yeah, and so he needs to get in touch with his art agent, Bixby.
Dalton Bigsby.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And he's an art agent. He's big deal in the New York City area. He likes to have phone sex with men. Who cares? But he is kind of like
Dalton? I think he likes to have regular sex with men, but also on the phone.
What's that phone sex too?
Either one. Yeah.
Yeah. We can have mic sex.
In-person sex.
Andy, your nipples
Let's not do it. Let's not do it right now.
Oh, sorry. So, but what's happening is Reno's.
Excuse me.
Reno's kind of calling it. He's actually visiting. Dalton, and he's like, "Yo, hey, over here! You need to advance me some money because obviously he's a name because he's been advanced money before,
right?
So if you're a no name, you're not. I mean, he's obviously kind of made his mark in the New York City.
Yeah, this isn't his first Buffalo Rodeo painting.
Hey, I like it.
He asked Dalton for an extra $500, and Dalton cusses him out like it was $200 last month for your girlfriend's abortion,
and then the $200 for a trip you took to
some other
to that
thing,
pizzeria.
and you needed some groceries.
Yeah,
I don't know,
and then another abortion,
and now you need $500. He says no. I'm not giving you the money.
But he's like, hey, over here, I got this buffalo piece. It's gonna be tits, and you're gonna love it. It's about a buffalo, and it's got some girls in it.
Right.
And he actually still does not get the money, so Carol has to come through. Remember his girlfriend, who was previously married.
She was to a man named Steven.
And she gets an alimony check, so she has to use that alimony check and put it right towards rent, and she has to hand it over to their autistic landlord.
Al the landlord. Loves feeding the rabbits. So she's paying Al the landlord. They are still 1 month behind because Al says that's last month. You're still you still owe for 1 month, and
excuse me,
you're not gonna if you don't pay up, I'm gonna have to put you out. All your stuff's gonna be on the street.
Yeah,
as he's feeding his rabbit.
And I'm now, if you can't see this because this is a audio medium, so if you could see us visually, you would see me raising my hand.
Do you have a question, Nick?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
What's up with this murder from the street and the binoculars? He's on the roof,
Reno.
Students. Reno is on the roof with binoculars, aloft on the roof.
People. Yeah.
And he's just kind of looking at people. Then he sees a murder happening during the day.
A man with a briefcase.
Gets
stabbed in the back in broad daylight. No one does anything about it.
People watch.
And a lot of people just kind of look around. We going to count that guy as a death? Because they hauled him away in an ambulance.
Yes.
Yeah, I
don't know.
I have in my notes, briefcase man, ? There was an ambulance there. Reno watched the whole thing. They hauled him away on a stretcher, and that was that.
Yeah, but what is this for?
I think it's to establish Reno going you just kill somebody in broad daylight. No one's going to care.
Professor
Interesting.
Andy.
Yeah. I think it's Reno. This plants the seed in Reno's head that.
Oh, my God. I love this.
Killing just a random person on the street isn't such a big deal.
God, that was sexy, Andy.
I think that's
that
what
was
Reno's
brilliant.
getting at, yeah.
I'm really proud of you, buddy.
So, a little bit later, a car with the word Roosters painted on the side of it pulls up to the building, and several people pile out, all stumbling and weird, and Pamela is with them. They're obviously under the influence of drugs and or alcohol.
Oh yeah, they're come to bum a loft too. It's what a great, hey, $500 a month. Our band can play there. We can sleep there.
Al, the landlord, shows them around. They say, "We're a violin group. We're gonna be real quiet. Don't worry about it. We're a violin group." And they pay Al for the apartment.
They pay Al, and so their name is the Roosters. I always thought it was Tony and the Cocksmacks.
Close. I mean,
The Roosters, Cocksmacks.
Yeah, you're very close. But it's Roosters.
Carol is kind of upstairs or next door in the other loft.
Yeah.
Carol is kind of pushing Reno, Andy. She's like, "Can you hurry up with this damn buffalo piece?"
Yeah. He just insults her.
Yeah, he goes on a long ass rant. "You don't know nothing about this. I'm an artist. You know nothing about art. You know about food. You know about spreading your legs. You know about taking showers and stuff."
Yeah. And he finally just says, "When it's done, I'll fucking tell you. You be the first person I tell.
Yeah.
Even if you're sleeping, I'll whisper it to you. It's done, baby. I'll come and whisper it. Even when it's done."
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing indeed.
Good call again, Andy. You're nailing this movie.
I know. It's almost as if I saw it twice.
Yeah, you're drilling this. So Pamela's kind of bummed because she's bored. She's in the house. They're watching TV and they have no money for drugs. They have no money to go out.
Yeah.
They want. She wants dope. So she's like, "Carol, do we have any money?" Carol's kind of like the mom figure to Pamela, I think, too. So she's like, "No, I had to use my alimony to pay rent." But the good news is, Andy, the band next door, Tony and the Cocksmacks, they start playing, and there's the party they're looking for. I mean, they're kind of like, "Cool, we had Andy just opened a beer, and it decided
everywhere.
to spooge on the table."
Do you have paper towel?
Yeah, let's hit pause.
Okay, sorry, just a little beer spill you had to clean up. That is totally on me.
Side
Didn't
note on
even
this,
open it. There we go.
I'm not. I'm like I mentioned on the last podcast. I've gone alcohol free, so I still have a community. I still have my community fridge. So I love it when Andy comes over because he's able to grab
A couple of beers.
a couple of beers that I have. I'm
I
enjoying.
owe you for these.
No, you don't.
I've been drinking all your beers.
Your love is all I need.
Oh.
The
Well, you don't
Guinness.
have
I do
that.
want to make a shout out to. I want to make a shout out to the Guinness non-alcoholic drop in a can. Absolutely delicious.
So
They're able to part. The band next door is kind of a route for them to party, Andy. So
Yes.
since they can't do anything, so this band,
Right.
is jamming, and it's
plays all through the night.
yeah. But and Reno, like you said in your Cliff Kill, he can't fucking stand it.
Right.
Imagine living next door to Sugar Ray, and they were playing 8 hours a day.
It has to be Sugar Ray.
Well, okay.
Every morning is a halo hanging from the corner of a girlfriend's four-post bed.
I got a question for you.
Please.
Would you rather live? So if you were in this situation that you had to hear the music all the fucking time, and you were living in a loft and you were trying to do a painting of either fucking Mr. Fritz or Montel, would
Those
you
are my
rather?
cats.
Would you rather have Creed living next door or Sugar Ray?
Ooh.
This is a question to you too, students. If
Maybe Creed. 'Cause-
and they would start playing.
Yeah.
6 days, 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. 8 hours starting at 4 in the afternoon to fucking 2 in the morning.
midnight. Well, 4 to midnight's 8 hours. But
10 hours.
yeah,
I'm a writer. Fuck off.
not a mathematician.
Yeah, not a mathematician.
I think Creed would take Sundays off, which would be good, right? Weren't they kind of semi-religious?
No.
Oh, I'm thinking
They're playing 6 days a week, so
Creed.
yeah, everyone takes
with
Sunday off.
arms wide open.
So you pick Creed?
Yeah, I pick Creed.
I pick Sugar Ray.
Hold me now.
Their first album wasn't bad.
6 feet from the edge. I think Scott Stapp would get drunk and just pass out. I don't think they would.
He's on Cameo now.
Oh, he is. Good
Yeah,
for him.
maybe we
Does
get
that mean
hot-
he's done drinking?
Well, I mean, he looks good.
Good. Good for him.
Maybe we can see if he'll do something for SlashU. Anyway,
Point being is the band plays loud.
This three-piece band is horrible.
Yes.
They're horrible. They hang out
Very
with
bad.
strung-out groupies dancing next to them. So we have to keep watching this. And so this, just to get rid of the noise, just to get out of the fucking headspace, Andy, Reno decides to take off and go do art.
He just sketches some more of the unhoused men who are
The hobos.
the hobos sharing bottle of Jaeger or whatever.
Yeah, it did look like
that's
Jaeger.
what it looked like Jaeger.
But
Reno just sketches them.
this is also a great moment for us because he is on the streets. He walks by a TV shop where they actually sell TVs, much like a Best Buy. And he notices a commercial that's playing on one of these TVs, and it's a foreshadowing for a
Porto pack.
Porto pack, which is,
belt.
a belt of batteries.
Yeah. And you can plug in any appliance that you can plug into the wall. You can plug into Portal Pack.
So if you want to bring a fucking a mixer,
Blender,
a blender to her and say, hey, I got margaritas.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, Nick, where are you going to plug it in? I got my Portal Pack.
Bring it camping.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea.
There you go. Only $19.95, which is what?
$86.
$86 today.
Yeah.
So not bad for a big belt of batteries.
We just had to get that foreshadowing out to know that that's probably going to be helping that drill run. But so back to the band.
They're still playing.
They're trying to coach these 2 female backup singers. It's so drawn out.
I fast forwarded.
Yeah, Reno is fucking mad because it's 2 a.m.
Yeah, and he has like a flash of himself like covered in blood briefly, and then he snaps out of it. You know, he has like a flash vision of himself just drenched in blood, screaming, yeah, and then he kind of wakes up out of that.
I think this is kind of like a demise into his his emotional internal chaos.
Him going a little crazy.
Yeah. So this is kind of when Reno is out in the streets and he starts bugging out on like drunken hobos.
Yeah, he grabs some.
And he's like, down on his. He's like, are you down on
passed out,
Did
dude.
your old lady leave you?
Yeah.
Did you lose your job?
What are you doing out here, man?
Come on, we want some pizza.
He stands the man up, but suddenly they hear shouting as a group of people chase someone else down the street.
I didn't get that. I guess
I don't know.
Maybe
but they both stop for a second and go, holy shit.
Andy, maybe this is when he was going to try, because he did. I think that's so brilliant, too, by the way, man, that you called out that binoculars rooftop gag. That he was like, that maybe that's why he was like, oh, it's that easy.
It's just that easy.
That's good.
Thanks.
So
More band playing.
More band playing, horrible. The cousin's like, you promised. Put my band in there.
Yeah.
But then it's rad. We cut to boobs.
We have Carol and Pam taking a shower together.
Four boobs.
That's it.
4 boobs.
Pretty cool scene.
Yeah, they're just showering and kissing. I don't know why we really needed it. I guess to show that it's a pretty cool fucking living situation for Reno.
I guess.
But
it does definitely make the movie a little more interesting. For a couple of minutes.
I mean, because you're listening to that shitty band. Not saying that you need boobs, but I mean, after listening to that shitty band for so long, it's like, oh, boobs.
Give me something here, yeah, and then there they are.
And this is when we cut to Reno, who's sitting alone with his thoughts. And Andy, this is when I really think that his dark, artistic alter ego starts to manifest.
Doesn't he just take some Bayer aspirin, probably for a headache, because of the music, and he just falls asleep, like on a bench or on a table or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where, again, I think it's just kind of start to want to show how he's deteriorating into this, madness.
There's a quick scene where one of the band groupies is talking to Tony, the lead singer, complaining that the backup singers don't look good.
Yeah, she's
That's
like,
all.
Yeah, she's really like, we mentioned that in the previous part of the podcast. About 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Where they're like trying to get these 2 female backup singers to go with them, but Tony's gal pal not having it. None of the girls like them. They don't do anything right. They chew the gum, they smack, they don't want to dance. They don't look good in the band either.
Tony, are you listening to me? And Tony's just brushing his teeth.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's really kind of weird scenes. I guess we're just kind of starting to see that.
Yeah.
This living situation among the lofts.
This movie jumps a lot. It's just like cut. Next scene, cut. Next scene.
Character development that is not worth
No. I only learned that.
It's so funny you wrote that. Sorry to interrupt, but I wrote this movie was kind of hard to follow right after that last note.
Thank you. Well, the only way I know a lot of the names a lot of times is I second watch with the closed caption on.
Yeah. So do I.
And sometimes the captions will say in parentheses the name of the person who's speaking the lines. So that's how I knew Tony was named Tony, because when he talked, the closed captioning said Tony in parentheses, and then the words that he spoke. So I could tell Pamela, Carol, Tony, because Reno is the name that other characters say in the movie. So you could tell his name's Reno. Carol, they mentioned Carol a couple of times, and Pam maybe once or twice. But
they mentioned Tony. I started seeing Tony a lot.
It's hard to follow who's who sometimes.
It is a quick cut. I know this, and I really do agree. This is supposed to be like a 19. Again, this is 1979 students.
Yeah, that's true.
This is crazy. I mean, to think like, hey, Driller Killer. This made the UK Nasties. Because of the vid. I mean, they could have made the movie poster and just the idea of a Driller Killer. Well, and again, 1979, right after Halloween came out. Again, I mean, but it does, like Andy mentioned again. I think he hit on a point here. They do try to make it a little too artsy.
Well, in the next little quick scene, Carol is reading some of the mail.
Steven.
And it seems she's received a letter from an old flame named Steven.
Yeah, and you hear his voice.
Yeah, the VO over the words on the letter.
Carol, I miss your bosom across the vase.
Something like that. 5-year anniversary of the day they met or something. And he sent her, quote, a little extra and says that he thinks of her often. So a little extra money in the envelope, I guess.
Yeah.
The band plays more
He's
loud
romantic,
music.
unlike Reno, but yeah, we go back to the band. Hell yeah!
Reno goes and complains to Al, the landlord.
Al, the landlord.
They just never quit playing. Night and day, these guys are playing. Al says, it's not my problem, and they don't bother me. I'm Boston again. They don't bother me. I don't care about it. But Al just promises, fine, I'll talk to him. I'll tell him that the police complained or something. I'll talk about him. And he offers Reno a dead rabbit. Skinned.
Here's a skinned rabbit.
Here you go. It's
Thanks.
better than chicken. You guys can eat it. Here you go. And gives Reno this
obviously
dead
they
rabbit.
need food, so...
It was the rabbit that he was feeding earlier in the movie.
Oh, I thought he just collected a lot of rabbits.
I probably got to count that.
Yes.
That
You
rabbit,
do.
that poor rabbit got killed.
Reno turns that rabbit into food art.
Yeah, he does.
So we could, Andy, we could see more of Reno, who is this killer, is cresting the waves of chaos.
Cresting the waves of chaos. Wow. Nick,
SlashU.
that's a good word art you got there, buddy. That's
Cresting
painting a
the
picture with the words.
Cresting the waves of chaos as he stabs this dead wabbit.
Wabbit.
Killed a wabbit. Killed a wabbit.
You had Zanzibar the hobo, and now cresting the waves of chaos. Oh, man.
Zanzibar the hobo. I don't know what the hell happened, but that's
Perfect.
I like that one.
That's our mission statement for 2024, baby. SlashU, cresting the waves of chaos.
Oh my God! Yes.
To bring you all the best in cheesy, campy, sometimes forgotten slashers.
I'm taking off my shirt just because you said that.
Me
Hold
too.
on.
I'm actually putting my hand down my pants.
Yeah, me too. Hold on. Okay.
Yep, perfect.
Hey, so now Reno is looking.
He stabs the head of the dead rabbit
Yeah.
several times. This is him starting to fall off the edge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cresting those waves of chaos.
And the next day, he's looking in the window of a hardware store.
And that Ronco Porta Pack.
Porta pack ready to buy.
Deep thoughts with artsy Reno.
He goes inside the store.
Yeah, so we know that that's going to be purchased. Back at his.
With all the money he's got, he somehow bought this Porta pack.
Yeah, that's actually a good point because $80.
Well, it's 1995 back then, but
But
yeah.
that's like $80. I mean, 1995 is a lot of money back
It's
then.
like
I mean,
2.5 calls to Los Angeles.
Yes, he spent. Yeah, maybe that's what he did. Maybe he called Los Angeles to get some money.
Well, later he's working on the painting.
He starts to hear voices.
Bless you.
I don't really burp that much anymore.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he hears voices. It's Carol's voice calling him, Reno. Reno.
He's starting to flip, Andy. He really is. He hallucinates. He sees a bloody-eyed woman.
Isn't it Carol?
Yes.
It's like bloody.
That's what I wrote. Andy, is that supposed to be Carol?
I think it is.
Then I
but
wrote
just like
whatever.
eyes. Yeah, the eyes are bleeding. That's whatever. It doesn't matter.
It's his madness has arrived.
It's here.
He heads out and
The waves of chaos have crashed. Here we are. Beautiful. Here's us still coughing and hacking.
it's I've read that's a nationwide sickness, and it's
Yeah.
not Rona.
Oh.
Like I've done a few tests, negative.
Yeah, same.
People, like my family came in town. Everyone got sick. We couldn't spend time together. So it's just
There you
horrible.
go. All right.
Bear with us, or I should say, buffalo with us. Reno heads
We're
out.
cresting the waves of chaos.
Yes, with our cough.
With our coughs.
Coughing the waves of chaos.
Yeah.
Reno heads out because he's obviously the madness has arrived, and he wakes up his first hobo.
Yeah, he has the drill kind of behind his back.
Yes.
But he wants the guy to wake up. He's like, come on, man, wake up. What are you doing here? Wake up. He wakes the guy up and then just drills into his torso. He kills him.
I mean, and
A lot of blood.
A lot of blood. And again, I wrote, I mean, it's 1979. I have to go back to that. You know, when I'm watching this, I have to go back and think of myself like, okay, Nick, put yourself in there. You've arrived in your shitty Trans Am. Mm-hmm. You've arrived with, I'm probably dating a girl named Angela. Mm-hmm. I've slipped her a lewd. We consensual. She took.
She was okay with it.
She was okay with
she
the
knew she was
Quaalude.
taking it.
Yeah, she's like,
Who are you, Bill Cosby?
Yeah.
No.
She's
Right.
like, got hair like Farrah Fawcett.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, I don't know why I'm talking. I'm like, hey, Angela, do you want to go see the Driller Killer?
Yeah.
She's like, are you picking me up your Trans Am? I'll be like, yeah, Angela, of course. And she's like, do you have any lewds? Did you talk to Frank? I'm like, yeah, Frank hooked me up. So me and Angela and some Quaaludes hop in my used Trans Am and we go see the Driller Killer in 1979.
So you've put yourself in the time, and you're watching
it would
this.
fucking be crazy. It would be crazy.
Yep, because this dude is fucking drilling into this torso, blood everywhere, for the time, for the place. Excellent effects, I think.
I agree.
Right? You agree? Good.
I agree.
I didn't want to speak for you. And that's his first kill.
Yep.
A little bit later, Pamela's
Thank you.
taking the trash out, and she finds, I think it's the dead rabbit in the trash.
Yeah,
and she screams and just
flips out. I remember we
walks
were
away.
watching this.
Yeah.
We were kind of like, man, she kind of freaked out. I mean,
it's just some. It's like it would be like finding like some chicken breasts in the trash.
I agree.
Like, why are you so freaked out? I don't understand.
Because she's on Quaaludes.
Yeah, he's oh my god, it's food in the garbage, but all right, or raw meat in the trash. Okay,
No big deal.
I mean, it's not like finding a hand, like a human hand in the trash. You know, that would be worse. That would be worth freaking out about. But
Okay, I know I've told this story on a podcast before, but I don't care. I want to go get it out real quick.
Please.
When we lived in St. Louis, across the street from us, some derelict fuckbag, lived there. Horrible house. He's run down. And one day I walked out and I smelled. I always thought there were dead bodies in there.
Mm-hmm.
The smell was permeating from this house, and I didn't know what to do. So I assumed this was a dead body. I called the cops.
Ooh.
Cops walked up, knocked on the door. There's a bag. He's like, yeah, something really reeks in there. He walks back up, puts his poke stick or whatever in his bag, and comes running and goes, oh my fuck! Like, what? He's like, there's a dead pig's head in there.
Oh no!
Guy, motherfucker was keeping it.
You smelled the decomp.
When they took down the house, because we still kept in touch with people that lived in the neighborhood, when they had to tear down the house, because they actually have a beautiful house that's up there now, his toilet was filled with feces.
Oh my!
Like,
He
that's
just
where
never
he took
flushed?
his shit. Never. No, I'm sorry, his bathtub.
Oh.
His bathtub was filled with human feces. There was only pathways. I don't know. They don't know how he lived in there.
It was like a hoarding situation.
Bad.
Oh man.
But anyway, I just kind of wanted to get back to that rabbit.
Pam freaks out about raw meat in the trash.
So we get back to the band, and everyone's fucked up, Andy. They're getting down to shitty music, and I guess they're getting ready because they have a gig at a club.
Yeah.
The poly threesome is heading there.
Carol and Pam and Reno.
He doesn't seem too stoked because he's like,
Yeah, I hear this show all the time when they're rehearsing upstairs. I gotta hear them all the time. What the fuck?
she's like, when you hear them live, they're actually really good.
Yeah.
Here's the cool thing though, Andy, that the band that actually, they're, I guess, the headliner because the band that opens up before them is actually fucking good.
A real band?
Yeah, because
That's good.
it's when Pamela's getting ready with Carol, she's like, the band it's cool because they wear makeup, they wear women's clothes, they're not afraid. It's cool to know people like that.
Even Pam says, like, when she's getting ready, like, Tony's got clothes that are better than ours, you know? He's got fancy dresses and makeup. And he dresses really nice. Better than the clothes that we have.
But that's what's so kind of cool about the scene. But yeah, I mean, they're poor, but I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
The band that opens up for Tony and the Cocksmacks is actually
and the Cocksmacks.
It's actually pretty good. I mean, they kind of have that, same thing, the makeup, the girls' clothes, but they actually can play music. Strong, structured, I can't believe that they're like, I would think after this band played when, Tony and the Cocksmacks come out, everyone would leave. But again, the opening band is legit. They carry strong tunes, solid riff leads.
Yeah.
And we get to the girls' bathroom. Where,
Oh, yeah.
You remember Tony's gal pal?
Right. Pam's in there probably touching up her makeup. And you're right. There's this other groupie
Doing
gal.
coke.
Must be Tony's girlfriend who's just like,
Yeah, she's
what's
like,
the deal with you and this Reno guy who lives with you?
Yeah, y'all
do y'all fuck? Who fucks who? Who fucks?
Yeah.
Does he fuck you? Does he fuck Carol? And I remember Pam saying, like, it's none of your fucking business. How about that?
Yeah.
I love doing this accent, by the way.
Yeah, so do I.
It's really fun. Even if it's not New York, even if it's Boston.
Hey, Nick, do you
I don't
best
know.
Australian?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, fish and chips.
Put it in the...
Yeah.
That's English.
Right.
Hey, put it in the fish on the barbie over
Right.
here.
But when she's just like, how about you just mind your fucking business,
Yeah. And she does, and Pamela, excuses herself and makes way.
And this chick's like, you bitch.
Yeah,
So whatever.
Cut to Pamela and Reno playing pinball.
Pam asks how much they're going to get for the buffalo painting.
She's kind of like the weird daughter, and, and he's kind of like, hey, I'm working on it.
Whatever.
This buffalo is my masterpiece.
Right.
It's gonna. We're gonna bank. We'll be able to wear whatever clothes we want.
Yep.
Travel wherever we want to go.
Yep. He
They
says
want to go to Bangkok. What, he says what?
He says it depends how much Dalton likes it.
Oh yeah.
Pam very smartly says it depends how much Dalton likes you.
That's yay.
And she said you should let him stick it up your ass so you'll like him. He'll like you more.
I watched
You don't
it
remember
twice.
that?
I do not.
That's what she says to Reno.
Maybe
You
I
should
was
let him
typing.
stick it up your ass so he'll like you more. and we'll get more money for the painting.
Well, I mean, that is kind of a sign of foreshadowing.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Also, kind of a flip the script. You don't see a lot of movies where men are encouraged to use their bodies to get ahead. It's more of a thing that's always been traditionally female.
Yeah,
it's not like I approve of it.
Well, I know. I hear you. I don't think that,
but
but it's really cool how all these movies, and through different generations and genres, blah, 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 you kind of get to see that approach of like, that cultural situation that's planted right then.
Pretty smart, though, of Pam to be like, yeah, Dalton's gay. Why don't you let him stick it up your ass?
Yeah, because Pamela does come off in the movie.
Then we get more money for the painting.
Throughout the movie, Pamela is kind of like, I'm Pamela. I like to do Quaaludes.
The airheaded one.
Yeah, but she actually waxed poetic as she's playing pinball.
Why don't you let him stick it up your ass?
Yeah. Backstage, cock smacking the Loft Boys.
Tony. And his
cock smack and the Loft Boys. Yeah, I just still know I wrote that.
Tony and his band. They're like, they're backstage. You're right.
They're back. They're about to take because their band's next. They're in the back room, drugs, booze. They take the stage and absolutely suck balls. But this is what I don't understand. Like the scene, like before they take the stage, it's 5 minutes of just Tony going.
Talking gibberish, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
and then he starts going, "I want to see somebody's pussy."
Yeah, it's absolutely fucking.
It's stupid.
But the director at the time be like, no, man, it's really talking about the degradation of society and how female oppression really comes through the quantum physics of fucking donuts.
The way these bands, they just all get high on drugs, and then that's the art, man. They get all up in a frenzy in their head, and they start talking gibberish. Yeah. Then they go out and perform the best show.
Totally. And fuck you for mentioning that, man. I sniffed a lot of paint when I wrote this movie. It is the band The Rooster, so... Right. This art noir film craft can suck balls.
Right.
I'm getting through. This is the moment where I'm saying, okay, like I'm getting through this for the students of SlashU, for my homie Andy, who's sitting across from me. I have to persevere and keep watching this movie.
We will make it.
Carol wants to reminisce as Reno wants to bitch about the horrible music, and I'm kind of with Reno here. She's like, do you remember we used to fucking come here and get drunk? And he's like, fuck off, I can't listen to this music.
It's too loud. Yeah.
The music is too loud. Again, like I said earlier in this podcast, if there was no music in this film, 24 minutes, this movie would have been a short.
Pretty quick. Yeah.
Anyway, Reno can't take it, Andy. He splits, and if I was in that club, I'd be like, hey, Reno, wait for me. I don't care if you're gonna fucking kill hobos.
Let's go.
I'll go with you.
I'll watch out for you.
I'll
I'll keep a lookout.
Yeah, I'll grab my dad's Super 8 camera and
I'll grab a jigsaw.
Yeah,
you have your drill.
Just get me out of here. So as the music plays, Andy, Reno, his drill, and his porta pack hit the city to make some noise.
This was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And because while the band keeps playing, we're intercut with different scenes of Reno. He drills a guy to death in the head. The band plays a little more. He gets another one in the subway station, right?
But even as he's approaching, like he starts going on a montage of killings.
Yeah.
But like the first guy he kills, it's like a drunken Tom Skerritt.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, you having problems with the old lady? Here, take a sip. Like he's really trying to be a sweet guy. He gets drilled, and then
the poor homeless dude drinking. Hey, old buddy.
Yeah, but then there's a mentally unstable dude.
Yep, at a bus stop.
Yeah, and he's kind of
erratically talking to himself.
Yeah, and he's kind of fucking around with like an old guy and a Dollar General, Jason Lee from My Name Is Earl.
Those guys get on the bus.
Yeah.
So leaving the weird guy by himself.
And I think this is actually the coolest kill. We don't have dick shield cuts, but I think this is the coolest kill of the movie.
Reno comes up and drills him through the plexiglass of the bus stop.
Yeah, the partition.
Yeah, drills him in the back. So, that's kind of neat, though. I mean, it was just essentially a montage of him killing different people.
But the kill with the head, this is like what you said. He approaches a hobo who's sleeping.
Yeah.
And he drills him. The drill only goes like in a 1/4 inch deep in the head. You can see from the blood mark on the drill. That
really?
Kill him.
You don't think so?
Slasher Mythbusters, Slasher Busters. I just don't. Maybe next time we record, you could take a drill and put it like you got to promise only put it a 1/4 inch in my head.
There was one. There's a lot of kills here.
Yes.
And I made note of all of them. We haven't specifically called each of them out, but there was one where the drill sounds like a gun for a minute. You remember when we watched it together?
Yeah.
Where he's drilling and it's the sound effects like we're like, is it a fucking machine gun or a drill? It's just the whatever sound editor decided to put that There's a couple guys in the street talking to each other. One's looking through the trash. One's lighting a cigarette, leaning against a lamppost on the ground. And Reno just runs up and drills one of them, and then the other one's trying to get away, and he fucking chases him down and drills him too. I mean, the guy's on a spree here.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Yeah, he gets the one in the head.
It is like
Kisses him on the head and then leaves.
A maniacal montage, if you will, just like going crazy. So after he's done killing, he heads back to his loft to grab some bagels and think of his masterpiece, the buffalo.
He chugs a Budweiser.
Yeah.
Eats, like a burger that's in the fridge.
A bagel burger.
Ravenously. Like he's ravenous.
Yes.
Chugs some milk too. I mean, the guy, it's like he's worked up this hunger from all this
I would
murdering.
think killing a lot of hobos, you'd be hungry.
Burns calories, I guess. So
Killing hobos makes you hungry.
there's a knock at the door. It's Tony, the band from the Roosters, the leader, looking for Pam. Says he brought her a present, and he looks around at the paintings, and he admires Reno's work.
Yeah, he's like, that buffalo's pretty cool over there.
This is some really nice stuff. Do you do like portraits?
Yeah, self-portraits.
I want one of myself.
Yeah.
And he says he'll do it.
Yeah, but Reno's like, yeah, but it's going to cost you $500. Again, rent, $2,000. And he's like, $420. Well, okay, I'll make it $500, but you got to do it quickly.
I need it like right now.
Yeah. So Carol the next morning, again, I think this is the flashback. She likes to read like the putrid news that's happening in New York City.
Terrible headlines,
And she's reading of the hobo drilling killings.
Looks like this man was murdered by a drill.
Yeah.
And Reno gets really angry, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing to me? And he like gets right up in Carol's face, like yelling at her. You're driving me nuts. Why are you doing this? Why?
But does he know that he did the killings? Because he looks at the drill and kind of freaks out. Like, does
he remember doing them?
Yeah. Like,
I don't know.
Is he in a physical mental state where he's like, I don't know what
He
I'm
goes
doing.
into a fugue state when he's murdering.
Yeah.
And then he just snaps out of it like a Jekyll Hyde thing.
Yeah, it's like kind of like, holy shit. Like,
I don't know, but he
Inception.
He gets right into Carol's face yelling at her, like, why do you do this to me? You're driving me nuts. And we smash cut to them eating pizza.
Pamela interrupts. And Pamela's brought a pizza.
She's ordering pizza. And it's like she doesn't... I remember thinking like, oh, we're just normal now? Like, she doesn't even care.
We talked about that
like
on the
a
first
second
watch.
ago, he was just fucking screaming in her face, and now they're just eating pizza.
But it is the most disgusting pizza I've ever seen on visual media.
It was really gross.
I've seen, I mean, come on, it's pizza. You've seen it on every movie, fucking short film, fucking television show. You've seen pizzas.
This looked really gross.
It was the worst, but Reno is gluttonous about the pizza, like Andy said earlier about when he was eating the bagel burger.
He plows through like 4 slices.
Yeah, and it's really hard to watch.
Yeah.
But this is kind of when Carol hasn't forgotten, because he's like, you want a piece of pepper on it? She just takes a slice and fucking slams it at.
Hits him in the face.
Hits him in the face and like, fuck you. I much
She
rather
storms away.
throw it in your face and eat it over here.
And she storms out screaming, I hate him! I hate him! And she goes out on the street down to a phone booth.
To call romantic Steven.
To call Steven, because I guess
Steven.
their phone's been cut off. Well, he threw it out the window, so they don't have a phone. So she goes to what's called a phone booth, kids. They don't exist anymore. But she puts money in this phone booth and dials the number. And it's her old flame, Steven.
Yeah, Steven. And she's kind of like, because I mean, she's watching this guy that she's dating just kind of like fall down a fucking mountainous, fucking, chaotic. I know I've been saying that word a lot,
Waves
but
of chaos. Yeah. The waves of chaos are crashing upon him.
Sounds like Waves of Chaos. Sounds like a Creed song. Like, I'm riding on the waves of chaos with you.
Oh man. So, quick question for you.
There you go.
So, in that style, that style of singing, I'm riding away, hold me now, I'm 6 feet Creed, versus Stone Temple Pilots.
Okay. Oh, here's Seven Pilots,
Yeah, because those guys are similar. It's a similar sound.
I want to spare your waves of chaos, because I know it's red.
I think STP's
better.
better.
I'm gonna fucking tell you that chaos is kind of red with you.
I like STP better than Creed.
But when I heard STP come out, I always thought it was Pearl Jam, like Plush,
There's another, you add that in the mix.
Like,
so,
Pearl Jam?
Pearl Jam.
Waves of chaos.
There, we nailed it.
Chaos. So anyway, we cut to Reno, who is painting the self-hatred of Tony.
Right. Carol came back to a childlike painting that said, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But did Reno do that?
I think he did.
Okay, just as a joke, because it's like a kid.
Because he's trying to make it up to her.
Oh, yeah, okay. So then...
And then he's sketching the band leader, Tony.
Yeah.
Working on that portrait.
And it's like... And just this whole time, I'm like, is Tony ever going to get it? Because I feel like he deserves it, but
He doesn't get killed.
He doesn't get
Spoilers.
killed.
Yeah.
As
We're
Reno-
spoiling the whole movie, by the way.
yeah, as Reno paints, he grabs a guitar. Tony's, it's just like, just probably like a horrible thing. You got to do it for the money.
Yeah.
But Tony's just being a fucking douchebag. Why is this hobo trapped on a ledge? I assumed even after second watch, I'm like, free the trapped hobo.
Cut to a random hobo
On a ledge.
in a cardboard box out like in the fire escape.
Yeah, but it looks like he's trapped. He can't get down.
It's really weird because he's like angry at the guitar music and he's jumping around like a gorilla in the zoo.
Yeah,
You know?
but obviously-
he's like on his haunches, like on his.
Yeah.
He's jumping around like a fucking chimp.
I dig it because mental health is health, but he's probably going through some shit. But it's like free the like if they had social media, the hashtag.
I don't know.
Like I feel like someone would be like, "Hey, there's a hobo up there. We need to help him."
This whole scene is just showing time passing because while Tony jams out on the guitar, Reno paints. You're watching this portrait of Tony that Reno is painting slowly progress, and as the hours go by, and as this hobo out in the fire escape jumps around and is just incoherently, Tony's still playing, the painting's coming along, the guy in the alley climbs up the fire escape screaming, "Shut the fuck up." Painting's further along. Pam's there.
Pamela and Tony start making out.
They start making out on the
touching
floor.
boobs in front of Reno.
Reno's still finishing the painting.
Looks like Zach Braff more like
It
Tony.
does, yeah. But even later, the painting is done.
Yes.
And the guy out in the fire escape is yelping, growling to himself. I don't know. He like walks around like a corner in the fire escape, and suddenly Reno's there with his drill.
The Jesus drill this is the Jesus drilling.
Drills his hands to the wall,
Yeah.
like probably with a screw or something. Drill like stigmata style. Drills him
that's
into
what
the
I mean,
wall.
the Jesus drilling.
And then eventually drills him, I think, in the torso or something and kills him with his hands stuck to the wall.
Trapped Hobo,
Yeah.
band name.
Trapped hobo.
I think it would be more like Bluegrass.
We are trapped hobo.
Down in their mountains of Appalachia, true.
They have banjos.
Trapped Hobo. Later that night, Carol and Pamela are all cuddled up sleeping.
Yeah.
Is Reno going to do it? Like, has he gone mad?
Nope.
Let's go to Professor Andy for his take on this scene. Andy?
Reno comes in. He sees the ladies spooning. He leans in, just like he said he would do earlier in the movie, and he whispers quietly to Carol, "It's finished. It's done, baby. All done. I just finished it." Just like he promised he would do.
That's kind of rad, and that's another good thing that you point out.
Buffalo painting is done.
The buffalo piece is ready to be seen by the kinky art agent, who he calls over. Reno's even put on a tie.
Yeah.
Carol sits next to him, but he does not get good news.
They're watching as Dalton evaluates the painting and eventually just says,
There's nothing there.
"This is shit. This is nothing.
There's no passion."
Where's the impact?"
Yeah, you fucked up, man. I'm dropping you as a client.
You can't do anything. You're a technician.
Yep. Oof.
Yeah. And he
So-
storms out.
So Kara hears this, Andy, and loses it because I think she knows that her life with this, avant-garde artist who she attached to, probably thinking she was cool and hip, but that train is coming to a halt. So she
Yeah.
flips and hits up Steven on MySpace to see if she'll have her back.
She logs on.
She logs on MySpace.
He's one of her favorite 8
Yeah.
friends. And
which Reno doesn't like. Why do you have Steven as one of your fucking favorite 8?
you remember MySpace
Yeah.
where you had like the 8 friends that
Yeah.
were like your top friends?
And when you got taken down, you're like, why the fuck? And they're like,
How come I'm not in your top 8 anymore?
fucking
That was
dicks.
the beginning of the end for
Yes.
when
Good
social
call.
media. Thanks, Tom. You dick. MySpace and Friendster.
Pamela is listening to all of this. What is she thinking, Andy? She's like listening to all their fighting and crying. So she's kind of like, like I guess
know. Well-
like my little family's coming to an end.
She screams at Reno to do something. He just sits there. More band playing.
Yeah, it's
Playing Nobody's My Girlfriend.
Yeah, they're all geeked out on drugs,
Carol lies awake in bed.
dreaming of
and
Steven.
The next morning, Reno wakes up in time to realize that Carol is leaving.
She's dipped.
He chases her down the street. He stops and grabs her, the arm that is holding her suitcase.
Yep.
She turns and says, "I don't need it." Leaves the suitcase and continues to walk away. And he's just like,
Hey, come
"Hey
on, baby.
man,
Hey,
you
man.
need your suitcase,
Come on,
man.
man.
Come on, man."
Reno's life is falling apart, Andy.
Also, Pam, it was crying as
Yeah,
well.
because I think she knows her life is
Carol
starting
left
to
her,
transition.
too.
Yeah, her life is starting to transition too. Like Reno is losing his mind, obviously, because he's talking to a dial tone on the phone.
plays with a lightsaber.
Yeah, and he's like thinking it's Carol. Yeah, I mean, well,
Picks
who
up-
would? I mean, that doesn't mean just because you play with a lightsaber doesn't mean you're losing your mind.
No, but he's
Means you're
just
cool.
Thanks, but he is just I thought it was neat because it totally is a lightsaber, and this is 79. Star Wars had just come out 2 years
no, it's
earlier.
cool. I
so
dig
it's
it.
a popular toy. And yeah, you're right. He picks up the phone, and it's the dial tone, and he talks, quote
As
unquote,
if
to
it's
Carol.
Carol.
Hey, baby. Hey, Carol, how you doing? And it's just the beep, 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 beep.
He knows, Andy, at this time that his life is over. So what he decides to do is, like, I'm going to call my art agent, Dalton, and he's going to kind of proposition him, kind of entice him to come over by saying, hey, no one's in the loft. I got something else to show you.
Something you're going to like
it rhymes
very
with
much.
Venus.
He does say, I sent the girls away, so it'll just be you and me alone.
Yeah. And he's like, well, give me 45 minutes. I want to go. Dalton's definitely stoked because I think he wants to ride the wave of Reno. Ride the Reno wave.
Ride Reno's waves of chaos.
Ride Reno's waves of chaos.
So, I think, yeah, Dalton's like, I need 45 minutes. I got to bleach my butthole, and I'll be right over.
Did they do that in the 70s?
I don't know.
I'm going to Google that.
Well,
Did they bleach buttholes in the 70s?
Reno's got, like, I made a note here. He's got the rabbit head or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't.
Pointless. More band playing.
More band playing as Reno gets ready. He dresses like Bruce Springsteen, like a drag show Bruce Springsteen, like in the 80s, ready to drill on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And here comes sexy art agent who lets
Dalton.
himself in. Yeah. He's like, "Where are you, Reno?"
He's got a bottle of wine.
And he's got an ascot. He looks sweet. He looks
Reno.
He's a good look. You know, Dalton got. I mean, poor Dalton. He just wanted to be.
He thinks he's, he's there for a date.
But
But,
I mean, he was.
Chris Hansen's there telling him to sit down, have a seat.
Dalton, take a seat.
No, just
Where'd you
kidding.
get that ascot?
Where'd you get that ascot? Who's the bottle of wine for, Dalton?
Yeah.
No,
But let's just get right to it.
Reno steps out with a nice blazer on, holding his drill. Is the smoke detector going off upstairs? Is Jody's cooking dinner? Yeah, it's gone. It's still beeping. I think she's okay.
Quiet. I can hear the chair moving. It's definitely. I know what she's doing right now. She's probably
waving the smoke
she's probably
away
like,
from
fuck.
the smoke detector.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, she's gonna listen to this, and she's gonna hear us talking about her with the smoke detector. Point being, Reno
lasagna.
waves the drill menacingly at Dalton, and ultimately kills him.
Sexy Bruce Springsteen takes the drill and kills Dalton.
Yeah.
He's drilled, and here comes Pamela. I guess
Pam.
she's waking up. Do you think she dies too? Because she discovers
she was
discovers
upstairs
Dalton.
with the band. She was up hanging with
I
the
know,
band. Yeah.
but she discovers dead Dalton drilled to the door.
Yeah.
And then Reno grabs her.
And he's like,
"Did you count her as a kill?"
No, I didn't. He's just like, come here, Pammy, and we don't see her die.
I don't think he would have killed her.
The scene just cuts away.
Yeah.
And we cut to Steven and Carol. Carol's with her old boy, Steven now.
I love Steven.
They're making out.
He's like the guy who wears black turtlenecks, listens to James Taylor, and is like, and he'll be like, yeah, I went to Lilith Fair. Like she's like, I'm gonna go take a shower. And he's like, I'll bring your tea to the bathroom. He's like the total fucking.
I'll bring the tea into the bedroom.
Like a total, like you would think, like if you watched cuck porn, he would be the guy that would watch.
I think Steven reads the Kama Sutra. He's that kind of guy.
I think he reads it, but then he's like, he invites like fucking
someone else
Mandingo to come over and I'm like, hey, do this on my wife. Like I just think he's a tool.
He just opens the book, points, do this one, and I'll sit in the corner. You guys do this one.
Yeah, let me play with my little James Taylor.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of happy for Carol here. She went back to a man who obviously appreciates her. Probably has a steady job.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. But let's just, getting to it, you know, while Carol showers, he's making tea, but Reno drills his ass.
Just jumps in and drills Steven to death.
So this is great. I don't know why. I did laugh when he died. I'm so sorry. I know it sounds bad, but I was just...
We both did.
I know, because I just kind of think of it's like, okay, sweetheart.
I'll bring the tea into the bedroom. Yeah. But like, did Reno know where they live? I guess he did. Yeah. Somehow. And yeah,
he looked it up on MySpace.
He just jumped in. Like he got into the apartment somehow.
Well,
and
in the 70s, they leave doors open.
He just jumped into the frame and he drilled poor Steven to death.
This is the scene where I'm going to question, you know what I'm going to question about. This is a cool ending. I really kind of thought it was a smart ending.
Carol's in the shower, turns off the water, steps out, dries off. It's all very slow. Walks out into the darkened living room, Steven's not in there. She goes into the bedroom.
His dead body is.
His dead body is, but she doesn't see it because the lights are off.
Yep.
She goes into the bedroom.
And she sees a figure in the bed.
There's someone in the bed.
Yes.
Covered, and she's like, oh, did you fall asleep already? It's not Steven. It's definitely Reno. She turns off the lights, and now it's pitch black.
Dark, and she's cooing his
He gets
name.
in bed.
Steven.
What? Come here. Come closer to
Steven.
me, Steven.
Poke
and
it
you
in
just
me.
hear him going, I love you, Steven. And then she asks him to come closer, and they roll credits.
You
That's
can't
it.
count it.
That's it.
I know.
So, no, I didn't count Carol getting killed because nothing. The movie just ends like that.
That's artsy.
Super artsy.
So-
Leaves it up to the imagination. I'm going to assume that if it kept going, she would realize that's not Steven. It's a dude with a drill.
Yeah, but then, I mean,
You think he
eventually
would
he's
kill
going
her,
to
though?
get caught. Yeah, I mean, but sometimes, like in these horrible domestic cases, like if he can't have her, then no one can have her.
Do you think he Revenge of the Nerds? Like he had sex with her in the dark?
No,
And
I think
she
would
doesn't know that it's not
I think
him?
she would know his
Not-
smell. Like once
Yeah.
he pulls his pants down, she would know
You
that.
think about it, Revenge of the Nerds, that scene
It was the worst.
where they hook up in the dark
Yeah.
and the girl thinks it's her boyfriend.
Yeah, it's horrible.
That is horrible. Yeah, by
That's- I mean-
today's standards, it is rape.
What he did.
That's rape. That's
but,
assault.
But it's even
rape.
worse.
It's
is that
unconsensual
But
sex.
it's really worse is that the writers thought, oh, you nerds are cool. I'm glad
Yeah.
that I unknowingly had sex with you without my consent.
Yeah, well, that's in all the pornos all the time anyway. Like, oh, well, stop, please. Oh no, I kind of like it actually.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
oh, you guys are great.
Dad,
Yeah, get it
stepdad,
on.
stop.
Yeah, I mean, that happens all the time.
But I mean, I like to think that she would recognize his smell, like, oh, because I bet that he's just stinky.
Reno? Yeah, he probably
I
hasn't
bet
bathed in
James would
6
have
days.
a better smell.
Steven.
Steven would have a better smell than Reno.
Yeah. Oh, he probably.
So like
Yeah.
you know, like when she put like, you know, Johnson and Johnson, his pubes probably smell like fucking really healthy fucking shampoo. Where when you pull down fucking Reno's pants, I bet it smells like that horrible pizza that we saw, like
Right.
garlic and green peppers.
he's probably all sweaty too from all the killing.
On a
He's been-
scale of 3 Sugar Ray albums to 8 Sugar Ray albums, what would you give this one?
Wow, 3 to 8 Sugar Ray albums. So now I have to evaluate Sugar Ray at the same time as this movie.
I'm giving this a 4.
Yeah, I'd probably give it 4.
4 Sugar
4
Ray
and a
albums.
half. 4.5 maybe.
Can't have half an album. You either got to go
can't?
4 to 5.
Just an EP.
Yeah.
No, I'd probably give it like 4, 5 on a scale of 3 to 8. I mean, it was fine for the 70s, for 79.
Yeah, you're right. That's
I
it.
didn't
You don't like
need-
how you take that glass half full approach.
Yeah,
so,
I don't need tons of character development. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a dude. I do like how he just goes on a fucking spree with the drill. You know, I love that in my slasher. Just
Yeah, and I really
starts killing indiscriminately.
Yeah, I
you're
mean-
dead. You're dead. I'm gonna drill you. I'm gonna drill you. I'm
no,
gonna drill
really,
you.
They brought out the backstory a little bit, but you made it more coherent when you brought up like, hey, this kind of is easy when you could just kind of kill someone in broad daylight and no one's
Yeah.
really gonna care.
Yeah.
It's New York City, so
And he stuck to, for what we know anyway, he stuck to homeless people. So
I'm raising my hand again.
Yeah, what's your question?
That painting probably went up $50 after he killed it. Like, cause think about it. He gets arrested. Driller Killer 2, the sequel. So
Yeah.
he gets arrested, and
Yeah.
that painting just goes up, and it's possessed.
the painting's possessed.
Yeah, but art
buffalo?
art fucknuts have to get it. So they're like, that's the painting. That
The artist went crazy and drilled a bunch of homeless people.
$2 million for it.
Yeah.
So then when that guy buys it, he kills people. So then he dies. So then it just keeps traveling around.
So the painting just makes people go nuts and drill.
Yes.
I like it.
Thank you.
That's a good one.
Hey, do you want to do the kill count?
I would love to. Where's my sound effect? There we go.
Ooh, let me touch it.
So most of these people don't have names. So,
Hobo 1, Hobo 2.
well, officially, are we counting the briefcase guy that he saw with binoculars?
Yes.
Okay, so briefcase man, dead. Followed by the rabbit. That poor fucking rabbit that Al the landlord was feeding and then killed and gave to Reno to eat. Homeless guy number 1. Random pedestrian. Subway guy. Talkative drunk guy. Tried talking to him for a little bit first, and then he drilled him in the guts. Bus stop. The crazy one at the bus stop.
Yep.
That he got through the glass.
There you go.
Another sidewalk guy who was talking on the sidewalk, and his friend, the guy who was picking through the trash.
Yep.
Those two.
They both, yeah.
Trash picker guy's friend. Yeah. Sleeping guy who was in the head. He was
Who I
sleeping,
don't-
got him in the head.
Little drill.
The weird fire escape ape man. I called him Weird Fire Escape Ape Man because
Yeah.
he's jumping around like a gorilla
Yeah.
in the fire
Free
escape.
the hobo.
Then Dalton, the art dealer.
Yes.
And we didn't count Pam. because we didn't see her die, and Steven,
Yes.
the ex-boyfriend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Wow! Sorry if I broke some numbers there. I didn't mean to yell that. Sorry
14
about
kills
that.
in the Driller Killer, including that rabbit. So
That montage is what did it.
it was, because he was just indiscriminately just jumping around.
The second watch made me appreciate it more.
Agreed. Yeah.
If I just first time, like I was even telling Jody, I was like, oh fuck.
And the first time I was watching it with you, and I remember really enjoying it. I was just like, oh shit, oh he's killing another one. Oh, there he goes again. There he goes again. It was kind of fun to laugh at, but
I'm gonna go ahead and say this because we do have a little bit of time. I do not like watching these movies on. I mean, I love Tubi, but I don't. I feel that it's those commercials break it up, and I would much rather pay the $2.99, $4.99. I don't care.
you don't like loss of momentum.
Yeah, and because those commercials do add up.
Yeah.
So
And this is on Tubi. That's where I watched it.
This second watch I'd rented it. So I got Shutterbox. So like I get all those fucking horror slasher apps. So friends of SlashU, students of SlashU, we are officially gonna kind of take a calm down, if you will.
Break.
We are, of course, Andy and I will be meeting behind the stages of the SlashU drama department to discuss 2024. Definitely want to get some stuff. I think visually we would be sexy for visual mediums.
Yeah.
I know that we have a con in mind in the Midwest, that a horror con that I'm definitely signing us up for.
We're doing Polar Plunge as you hear this on New
I'm
Year's
so
Day
excited.
at noon. We're going to go jump into Lake Michigan. I was saying to Cheryl, my lovely wife, what if the news is there covering Polar Plunge? And I was like, what if the news wanted to pull somebody aside and interview them? If they're going to pull anybody aside and interview them, it's going to be Nick Bankhead. And if they pull you aside and you grab me and we're talking about how we did Polar Plunge, at the end we got to be like, also we do a podcast together called SlashU, the letter U, like university. Tune in. It's talking about campy horror movies.
They would edit the
They
shit
would
out.
totally edit that out, but we could still try.
Yes.
So if we could get on the
I can
local
hold a
news.
sticker up or something.
Right.
But
So-
I'm also wearing a really sexy outfit that
Right.
we will post. We'll post some of that stuff on our
Socials.
socials. Hey, and dig this. We're really excited about this final exam thing we're gonna do, where we will watch with you and share with all of you
Commentary.
so you can join us. I think 2024 is going to be great. We're all taking new strides. We're all on new paths. So excited. Want to give some shout outs real quick if I could.
Please.
Macabre Daily. .com. Check it out on Instagram, macabredaily.com. Just
They cover a lot of cool stuff.
great stuff. I mean, I
Pop
don't know how they
culture.
get their news. Yeah, I mean, it is amazing to see. I mean, I occasionally write for them, but it's amazing the content they produce. Extreme Horror Replay, our friends across the pond.
Ben and Nancy.
They're getting ready for their second annual O Scares.
Ooh.
You remember we did? I think we did something for them last year with the O Scares.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did. We introduced an award. Yeah.
So,
they didn't ask us to do it again, did they?
Probably were too risque.
Yeah, we probably too good. They were like, these guys are too talented. We
And
can't.
probably your voice. You got the sexiest voice. I mean, they're
Yeah,
probably
they were
like,
we
ooh.
don't- yeah, this
Yeah, man,
really
like,
raises the
where
bar.
Nick
Let's
comes
not.
on is like, hey, what's going on? This is SlashU. Hey, but we
I'm
also
Nick. I'm riding the waves of chaos over here.
our new friend, Bucket of Chum Podcast, has done a year in review. Just a smart. I mean, it's gonna have content forever.
I'll throw his promo up
Oh, cool.
on this episode.
I'm gonna get him the screenplay to Shark of the Dead. Oh yeah, I got to talk about Shark of the Dead.
It covers all those cheesy,
Shark
campy
movies.
shark
Shark
movies. Yeah.
I'm going to be shopping Shark of the Dead. A great movie. I think my log line is just going to be zombies, sharks. What else do I need to write? I mean, it's
Yeah.
the
What
writes
else
itself.
do you need?
And let's not forget Dead Alive Dana. Our PDX homie.
Thank you, Dana.
She's killing it lately. She did a whole run through of all the Silent Night Deadly Nights. We
Oh,
released
so
our
she
fourth
covered-
one.
Yeah.
The initiation.
was
I
last
think
week.
she released hers on Sunday.
Yeah.
We released ours on Monday, so that was kind of like a cosmic connection right there. So just so many
Did she
good.
like it better than we did?
Well, we kind of all brought up the cockroaches and all the cockroach.
Yeah.
I don't think she brought up cockroach jizz, but there
I
was
don't
just,
think she would.
No, I don't
That's a uniquely SlashU thing.
But we are really excited. 2024 again. I know I speak for Andy when I say this. We could have no listeners. We could be speaking to an abyss of static,
We
and
would
I would
still do
still do this. So,
Yeah, 100%.
anything you need to spill out, Andy?
No, follow us on Insta.
Oh, yeah.
That hasn't changed. /U_podcast.
We'll still be posting on socials.
We
We'll
will. and we'll cross post to the Facebook because, like it or love it, Facebook's still a thing. And then
God, it's so weird.
It's very weird. Email us /podcast@gmail.com. I'll keep going on the website. If you want to support the show, go to the website, click through any of the Amazon links and order something. You're going to order something anyway. It's Amazon, right? And we'll work on
Sugar Ray albums.
Yeah, some Sugar Ray albums. Give that Mark McGrath his royalties. So until we come back, and we'll announce like whatever we're going to watch next in starting in February. Later in January.
We're definitely going to stay active on our socials, but we do need some time to calm our voices.
Yeah, I'll try to edit together some best of and throw it up. And like you said, we're going to do a commentary for Final Exam.
Can't wait for that.
And you guys can watch the movie and listen to our voices comment in real time. So
that's going to be fun.
That'll be a lot of fun. So that's about it, man.
Happy New Year, you fucking students.
Yeah, hopefully you're listening to this
Enjoy your
on
winter
New Year's
break.
Day. Enjoy your winter break, and until next time, class dismissed.